This feels good. Step up to the fire, ladies.
I'm not cold.
Now, Mr. Hale, before we move things about, you explained to Mr. Henderson just what you saw when you came here yesterday morning.
Oh, by the way, has anything been moved? Is everything just exactly the way it was yesterday?
It's just the same. When it dropped below zero last night, I thought I'd better send Frank out this morning to make a fire for us. No use getting pneumonia with a big case on it. But I told him not to touch anything except the stove, and you know Frank.
Somebody should have been left here yesterday.
Oh, yesterday. When I had to send Frank to Morris Center for that man who went crazy, I want you to know I had my hands full yesterday. I knew that you could get back from Omaha by today, and as long as I went over everything
Well, Mr. Hill, why don't you tell us just what happened when you came here yesterday morning?
Well, Harry and I had started in town with the water potatoes. We were coming up along the road to my place, and as we got here, I said, I'm going to see if I can get John Wright to go in with me on a party telephone. I spoke to Wright about it once before, but he put me off, saying folks talk too much. Anyhow, all he had was peace and quiet. But I guess you know about how much he talked himself, but I thought if I came up here and talked about it before the wire, though I did say to Harry, I didn't know what his wife wanted made much difference to John.
Well, let's talk about that a little later, Mr. Hill. I do want to talk about that. Just go on now with what happened when you came here to the house.
Well, it was all still and quiet. I knocked at the door and still didn't hear a thing, so I knocked again, and this time I thought I heard a voice say,
Men.
well, I wasn't sure. Not sure yet, but I opened the door, this door, and there, in that rock sat Mrs. Wright.
What was she doing?
Oh, she was rocking back and forth. She had her apron in her hand and was kind of pleading.
How did she look?
Oh, she looked queer.
How do you mean queer?
Oh, as if she didn't know as what she was going to do next. And kind of dumb on.
How did she seem to feel about you coming to the house?
Well, I don't think she minded one way or the other. She just kind of sat there, not even looking at me. I said, "How do, Mrs. Wright?" It's cold land.
Is it?
And I could see she was still pleating at her apron. Well, I was still surprised. I mean, she didn't ask me to come up to the stove or sit down, but just sat there, not even looking at me. So I said, "Well, won't she John?" And she would call it a laugh. Well, I thought of Harry and the team outside, so I said a little sharp, "Can't I see John?"
No.
"Ain't he home?"
Yes, he's home.
"Then why can't I see him?" I asked her.
Because he's dead.
"Dead," said I. She just nodded her head, not getting a bit excited. Talked her back and forth. "Why, where is he?" said I. She just pointed upstairs, like that. Well, I got up with the idea of going up there, and I went from about here to about right here when I said, "Why, what did he die of?"
He died of a rope around his neck.
I went out and called Harry because I thought I might need help. Well, we went upstairs, and there he
Why
was.
don't you go into that upstairs where you can point it all out? Just go on now with the rest of the story.
Well, my first thought was to get that rope off and look. But Harry went up there and said, "No, he's dead all right. We better not touch anything." So we came back downstairs, and she was still sitting that same way. "Who did this, Mrs. Wright?" said I.
I don't know.
"You don't know," said Harry.
No.
"Weren't you sleeping in the bed with him?" said Harry.
Yes, but I was on the inside.
"Somebody slipped a rope around his neck and strangled him, and you didn't wake up?" said Harry.
I didn't wake up.
We must have looked as if we didn't see how that could be. For after a minute she said,
I sleep sound.
well, Harry was going to ask her more questions, but I told him maybe we ought to wait and let her tell her story first to the coroner or to the sheriff. Well, Harry went as fast as he could over to the place where they had a telephone.
What did she do when she knew you had gone convinced that there's nothing over here that might be of any importance? Nothing that might lead to any motive?
Nothing here but kitchen things.
Here's a nice mess.
Fruit, it did freeze. She worried about that when it turned so cold. She said the fire would go out and her jars would break.
Well, can you beat the women? Held for murder and worrying about her preserves.
Well, my guess is by the time we're through, she may have something more serious than preserves to worry about.
Well, women are used to worrying over trifles.
And yet, for all their worries, what would we do without the ladies? Dirty towels. I shouldn't say that she was much of a homemaker. Would you say, ladies?
There's a great deal of work to be done on the farm.
To be sure, and yet I know of some Dixon County farmhouses without such roller towels.
Those towels get dirty awfully quick, Mr. Henderson. Men's hands aren't as clean as they might be.
Ah, loyal to your sex, I see. But you and Mrs. Wright were neighbors. I suppose you were friends, too.
I've not seen much of her of late years. I've not been in this house. It's more than a year.
Why was that? You didn't like her?
Oh, I liked her all right now. Farmers' wives have their hands full, Mr. Henderson.
Yes.
It never seemed a very cheerful place.
No, I shouldn't say cheerful. I wouldn't say that Mrs. Wright had a homemaking instinct either.
Well, I shouldn't say his right had either.
You mean they didn't get on well?
I don't mean anything. I just don't think the place would be any cheerful if John Wright's being there.
Well, that's interesting. I do want to talk about that a little later. I would like to go now and get a feel for the things upstairs.
I suppose anything Mrs. Peters does will be all right. She was bringing some clothes for her, you know, and a few little things. We left in such a hurry yesterday.
Yes, that'd be all right, but I'd like to see what you take first, Mrs. Peters. And keep an eye out for anything that might be of interest to us.
Yes, Mr. Anderson. Well, I hate to have men coming into my kitchen, snooping around and criticizing. Well, of course, it's no more than their duty. Duty's all right. I bet that deputy sheriff who came in to make the fire might have gotten some of this on. No, I wish I'd thought of that sooner. Seems mean to talk about her for not having things all slicked up when she had to come away in such a place. She regrets it. She's going to put us in there. You know, it's a shame about her fruit. I wonder if it's all gone. Mrs. Peters, I think there's something here that's still okay. Yes, here. It's cherries, too. Well, do you think that? I believe that's the only one. She'll feel awful bad after all of her hard work in that hot weather. I remember the afternoon I put my chairs up last summer. I must get those things in the front room closet. You coming with me, Mrs. Hale? You could help me carry them. It's cold in there. Right was close. I think that's why she kept so much to herself. Didn't even belong to the Ladies' Aid. Suppose she felt she couldn't do her part, and you never do enjoy things when you feel shabby. She used to wear pretty clothes and be lively when she was Minnie Foster, one of the town girls, singing with the choir. That was 30 years ago. Is this all you were to take in?
She said she wanted an apron. Funny thing to want, for there isn't much to get you dirty in jail. Goodness knows. I suppose just to make her feel more natural. She said they was in the cupboard. Here it is. And she wanted her shawl that always hung beside the door. Here.
Mrs. Peters,
Yes, Mrs. Hale.
do you think she did it?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't think she did. Asking for an apron and a little shawl, worrying about her fruit.
Mr. Peters says it looks bad for her. Mr. Henderson is awful sarcastic in his speech, and he'll make fun of her saying that she didn't wake up.
Well, I guess John Wright didn't wake up when they were slipping that rope under his neck.
Oh, it's strange. It must have been done awfully crafty and still. They say it was such a funny way to kill a man, rigging it up like that.
That's just what Mr. Hale said. There was a gun in the house, that's what he can't understand.
Mr. Henderson said coming out that what was needed in the case was a motive. Something to show anger or sudden feeling.
I don't see any signs of anger here. It's white to here. You better loosen up your things, Mrs. Peters. You won't feel them when you go out.
She was piecing a quilt.
Oh, it's a little cabin pattern. Pretty, isn't it? I wonder if she was going to quilt it or just knot it.
They wonder if she was going to quilt it or just knot it.
Frank's fire didn't do much good upstairs, did it? Well, let's go up to the barn and get that cleared up now.
I don't see it's anything so strange. I've taken up the time to little things while they're out looking for the evidence. I don't see it's anything to laugh about.
Of course, they've got awful important things on their minds.
Yes, I suppose they do. Peters, look at this one. This is the one she was working on. Look at the sewing. Here it's all nice and even. And then look at this part. It's all over the place. Looks as if she doesn't know what she was about.
What are you doing, Mrs. Hale?
Just pulling out a stitch or two to make the sewing she did. Bad sewing always makes me fidgety.
I don't think we had to touch things.
I'll just finish up this end. Mrs. Peters,
Yes, Mrs. Hale?
what do you suppose she was so nervous about?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what she was nervous. I sometimes so awful queer myself when I'm just tired. Well, I better get these things wrapped up. They may be through sooner than we think. I wonder where I could find a piece of paper and string.
In one of those cupboards, maybe.
Here's a bird cage. Did she have a bird, Mrs. Hale?
I don't know that she did. I've been here so long. You know, a man came around last year selling canaries cheap, but I don't know if she took one. Maybe she did. She used to sing real pretty herself.
It seems funny to think of a bird here. But she must have had one, or why would she have a cage? I wonder what happened to it.
I suppose maybe the cat got it.
Oh, no, she didn't have a cat. She's got that feeling some people have about cats, being afraid of them. When my cat got in the room, she was real upset and asked me to take it out.
No, my sister Bessie's like that. Queer, isn't it?
Look at this door. It's one hinge is holding hard.
Looks as if someone might have been rough with it.
Yes.
I wish they were going to find any evidence maybe about it. I don't like this place.
But I'm awful glad you came with me, Mrs. Hale. It would be lonesome if I was sitting here alone.
Yes, it would, wouldn't it? You know what I wish? I wish I'd come sometime when she was here. And seen her.
But, of course, you were busy with your house and your children.
I should have come. I stayed away because it weren't cheerful, and that's why I ought to have come. I've never liked this place. Maybe it's because it's in a hollow and you can't see the road. It's a lonesome place and always was.
You mustn't reproach yourself, Mrs. Hale. Somehow we don't see how it is with other folks until something comes up.
No children makes less work, but Next to quiet house. He was right out to work all day and no company when he did come in. Do you know John like Mrs. Peters?
Not to know him. I've seen him in town. They say he was a good man.
Yes, good. He didn't drink and paid his debts as well as most. Kept his word. But he was a hard man, Mrs. Peters. Just to pass the time of day with him. The raw wind cuts to the bone. I should think she would have wanted a bird. But what do you suppose went with it?
I don't know. Unless it got sick and died.
You weren't born around here, were you? You didn't know her?
Not till we brought her yesterday.
I didn't think it. She was kind of like a boy herself. Real sweet and pretty and kind of timid and fluttery. How she did change. Tell you what, Mrs. Peters, why don't you take the clerk with you? Somebody to take up her mind.
I think that's a real nice idea, Mrs. Hale. There couldn't possibly be any objection to it, could there? Let's see now, what would I take? I wonder if her patches are in here and her things.
Here's some red. Oh, I expect this has got sewing things in it. What a pretty box. Looks like something somebody'd give you. Maybe your scissors are in here. Oh, Mrs. Peters, there's something wrapped up in this piece of silk.
This isn't her scissors. It's the bird.
But its neck, Mrs. Peters, look at its neck. It's all other side, too.
Somebody won its neck.
Well, ladies, have you decided whether she was going to quilt it or just knot it?
We think she was going to knot it.
Well, that's interesting, I'm sure. Has the bird flown?
We think the cat got it.
Is there a cat?
Well, not now. They're superstitious, you know. They leave it.
Well, there was no sign of anybody having come in from the outside, and it was their own road. Let's go upstairs again and go over it piece by piece. You know, it would have had to have been somebody who knew just how the house was laid out. They'd be able to do it around, you know?
She liked the bird. She was going to bury it in that pretty box.
When I was a girl, my kitten, there was a boy, took a hatchet and before my eyes, before I could get there. If they hadn't held me back, I would have hurt him.
I wonder how it would be whenever you had young children around. No. Right, wouldn't it like the bird? Something would sound. She used to sing. You killed that too.
We don't know who killed the bird.
I knew John Wright.
It's an awful thing that happened in this house that night, Mrs. Hale. A man, while he slept, slipping a rope around his neck that choked the life out of him. We don't know who killed him. We don't know.
There had been years and years of nothing. Then a bird to sing to you. It would be awfully still after the bird was still.
I know what stillness is. When we homesteaded in Dakota, and I lost my first baby. After he was 2 years old and me with no other things.
I suppose that you're looking for that evidence.
I know what stillness is. The law has got to punish crime, Mrs. Hale.
I wish you'd seen Minnie Foster when she wore a white dress with a blue ribbon and stood up in front of the choir and sang. I wish I could come out here once in a while. That was a crime. Now that was a crime, and who's going to punish that?
Listen, be on.
our car. We go through the same things. Just a different kind of same thing. If I were you, I wouldn't tell her her fruit was gone. Tell her it ain't. Take Miss 50 to prove it to her. She may never know whether it was broken or not.
Well, it's a good thing the men couldn't hear us. Wouldn't they just laugh, getting all stirred up over a little thing like a dead canary, as if that would have anything to do with wouldn't they laugh?
Maybe they would.
No.
Maybe they wouldn't.
Peters, it's all perfectly clear now, except for a reason for doing it. Well, you know how juries are when it comes to women. If there was some definite thing, something to show, something to tell a story about.
Well, we got the team over him. Oh, it's cool out there.
I'm going to stay here by myself for a while. You can send Frank for me, can't you? I want to go over everything piece by piece. I'm not satisfied that we can't do better.
Do you want to see what Mrs. Peters is going to bring in?
Oh, the things the ladies have picked out don't look too dangerous. No, Mrs. Peters doesn't need supervising. For that matter, the sheriff's wife is married to the law. Have you ever thought of it that way, Mrs. Peters?
Well, not just that way.
Married to the law. I want you to come here just a minute, George. We had to take a look at these windows.
Oh, windows.
We'll be out in a minute, Mr. Hare.
Well, Henry, at least we found out she wasn't going to quilt it. She was going to, what do you call it, ladies?
We call it knotted, Mr. Henderson.
This does feel good. Step up to the fire, please.
I'm not cold.
Now, Mr. Hale, before we move things forward, you explained to Mr. Henderson just what you saw when you came here yesterday morning.
Oh, that reminds me. Is everything just exactly the way it was yesterday? Has anything been wrong?
It's just the same. When it dropped below zero last night, I thought I'd better send Frank up this morning to make the fire for us. No use getting pneumonia with a big case on it. But I told him not to touch anything except the stove, and you know Frank.
Somebody should have been left here yesterday.
Oh, yesterday. When I had to send Frank to Morris Center for that man who went crazy, I want you to know I had my hands full yesterday. I knew that you could get back from Omaha by today, and as long as I went over everything
Well,
myself.
Mr. Hale, why don't you tell us just what happened when you came here yesterday morning?
Well, Harry and I had started for town with a load of potatoes. We were coming up along the road from my place. As we got here, see if I can't get John Wright to go in with me on a party telephone. Well, I folks are right about it once before, but he put me off, saying folks talk too much anyhow. I guess you know about how much he talked himself, but I thought if I came up here and talked about it before the wife, though I did say to Harry, I didn't know what his wife wanted me, but very.
Let's talk about that a little later, Mr. Dale. I do want to talk about that, but just go on now with what happened when you came here to the house.
Well, I didn't hear or see anything. I knocked at the door. It was still all quiet inside. Well, I knew they must be up. It was past 8 o'clock. So I knocked again. But this time I thought I heard a voice say,
Come in.
I wasn't sure. Not sure yet. But I opened the door. This door. In there. And that rocker said, Mrs. Wright.
And what was she doing?
Oh, she was rocking back and forth. She had her apron in her hand. It was kind of clean.
How did she look?
Oh, she looked queer.
How do you mean queer?
Oh, as if she didn't know what she was going to do next. Kind of done.
What was she doing?
Just kind of sitting there rocking back and forth.
Oh, yeah.
When,
What did she do when you came up to the house?
well, nothing. Just kind of sat there, not paying much attention. I said, how do, Mrs. Wright? It's cold, ain't it?
Yes, sir.
Just, I could see she was still bleeding at her apron. She didn't ask me to come up to the stove or to sit down. Just sitting there, not even looking at me. So I said, I want to see John. And she just called a laugh. Well, I thought of Harry and the team outside, so I said a little sharp, can't I see John?
No.
Ain't he home?
Yes, he's home.
Then why can't I see him? I asked her.
Because he's dead.
Dead? Said I. She just nodded her head, not getting a bit excited. Why? Where is he? Said I. He just pointed upstairs, like that, just getting a bit excited. Well, I got up with the idea of going up there, and I got from about here to about right here when I said, what did he die of?
He died of a rope around his neck.
I went out and called Harry because I thought I might need help. Well, we went upstairs, and there he was lying.
Why don't you go into that upstairs, where you can point it all out? Just go on now with the rest of the story.
Well, my first thought was to get a profile. But Harry, he went up to him. Said, no, he's dead all right. Better not touch him. So we came back downstairs. She was still sitting the same way. Has anybody been notified? I asked her.
No,
Who did this, Mrs. Wright? Said Harry.
I don't know.
You don't know? Said Harry.
No.
Weren't you sleeping in the bed with him? Said Harry.
Yes, but I was on the inside.
Somebody slipped a rope around his neck and strangled him, and you didn't wake up.
I didn't wake up.
He must have looked as if we couldn't see how that could be. After a minute, she said,
I sleep sound.
well, Harry was going to ask her more questions, but I told him we were going to wait and let her tell her story first to the coroner or to the sheriff. So Harry went, as she should, on over to the Rivers place, where they have a telephone.
What did she do when she knew you had gone for the coroner?
Oh, she moved from this chair, just went over here, just sat there with her hands together and her head held back. I got the feeling that I ought to make some conversation, so I told her I'd stop by and see if John wanted to put in the telephone. Oh, and then she began to laugh. Then she stopped, looked at me, stared. And maybe it wasn't scared, I wouldn't like to say that it was. Soon Harry got back, and Dr. Roy came, and you, Mr. Peters. So I guess it's all I know that you know.
Well, first I think I'd like to go upstairs and been out to the barn around there. Now, you're convinced that there's nothing over here of any importance, nothing that might lead to any motive?
Nothing here but kitchen things.
Here's a nice mess.
Fruit, it did freeze. She's worried about that when it turns so cold. She said the fire go out and her jars would break.
Well, can you beat the women? Held for murder and worrying about her preserves.
My guess is by the time we're through, she may have something more serious than preserves to worry about.
Well, women are used to worrying over the trifles.
And yet, for all their worries, what would we do without the ladies? Dirty towels. I shouldn't say that she was much of a housekeeper. Would you say, ladies?
There's a great deal of work to be done on the farm.
To be sure, and yet I know of some Dixon County farmhouses without such roller towels.
The towels get dirty after cooking, Mr. Henderson. Men's hands aren't as clean as that.
Ah, royalty or sex, I see. But you and Mrs. Wright were neighbors. I suppose you were friends, too.
I don't see much of her of late years. I've not been in this house since it's more than a year.
Why was that? You didn't like her?
Well, I liked her all well enough. Farmers' wives have their hands full, Mr. Henderson.
Yes.
Never seemed very cheerful to us.
Oh, no, it's not cheerful. I shouldn't say that Mrs. Wright had a homemaking instinct.
Well, I shouldn't say it's right, had either.
You mean they didn't get on well?
Just don't think the place would be any cheerful with John Wright's being there.
Well, I'd like to talk about this a little later, if you don't mind. But now I'd like to go up and get a feel for the things upstairs.
I suppose anything Mrs. Peters does will be all right. She was bringing some clothes for her, and a few little things. We left in such a hurry yesterday.
Yes, that'd be all right. But I'd like to see what you take first, Mrs. Peters, and keep an eye out for anything that might be of interest to us.
Yes, Mr. Henderson.
Well, I hate to have men coming into my kitchen, snooping around and criticizing.
But of course, it's no more than their duty.
Duty's all right. I bet that deputy sheriff came in to make the fire might have gotten some of this on. Oh, I wish I'd thought of that sooner. It seems to me to talk about it for not having things all slicked up and kept away such a way. She's gonna put this in her head. Here's a shame about her fruit. I wonder if it's all gone. Oh, Mrs. Peters, I think there's some here that's still okay. It's here. It's cherries, too. To declare, I believe that's the only one. She'll feel awful bad after all the hard work and the hot weather. I remember the afternoon I put my cherries up last summer.
I must get those things in the front of the closet. Are you coming with me, Mrs. Hale? You can help me carry them. Cold in there.
Right, it was close. I think that's why she kept so much to herself. Didn't even belong to the ladies' aid. I suppose she felt she couldn't do her part. And we never really enjoy things. Feel shabby. She used to wear pretty clothes and be lively when she was Minnie Foster or the town girl singing with the choir. It was 30 years ago. Is this all you was to take in?
She said she wanted an apron. Funny thing to want, for there isn't much to get you dirty in jail. Goodness knows. I suppose just to make her feel more natural. She said it was in the cupboard. Here it is. And then she wanted her shawl that always hung beside the door. Here.
Mrs. Peters?
Yes, Mrs. Hale. Do you think she
did it?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't think she did. Asking for an apron and a shawl, worrying about her fruit.
Mr. Peters says it looks bad for her. Mr. Henderson is awful sarcastic in his speech, and he'll make fun of her saying she didn't wake up.
Well, I guess John Wright didn't wake up when they were slipping that rope under his neck.
Oh, it's strange. It must have been done awful crafty and still. They say it was such a funny way to kill a man, rigging it up like that.
That's just what Mr. Hale said. There was a gun in the house. That's what he can't understand.
Mr. Henderson said coming out that what was needed in the case was a motive. Something to show anger or sudden feeling.
I don't see any signs of anger around here. It's white as clear. Better loosen up your things, Mrs. Peters. You won't feel them when you go out.
She was pacing the quilt.
It's a lot of pattern pattern. Pretty, isn't it? Now, I wonder if she was going to quilt it or just not.
They wonder if she was going to quilt it or just not it.
Frank's fire didn't do too much good. Scared it did. Well, let's go out to the barn and get that all cleared up.
I don't see it being so strange. We're taking our time to little thing, take a look for the evidence. I don't see it's anything to laugh about.
Of course, they've got awful important things on their minds.
Suppose they do. Mrs. Peters, look at this. This is the one she was working on. And look at the sewing. Here it's all nice and even. And look at this part. It's all over the place. It looks as if she doesn't know what she's about.
What are you doing, Mrs. Hale?
Just pulling out a stitch or two that isn't stitched yet. Bad sewing always makes me fidgety.
I don't think we ought to touch things.
I'll just finish up this end. Peters,
Yes, Mrs. Hale?
really slow she was so nervous.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if she was nervous. I sometimes so awful queer myself when I'm just tired. Well, I better get these things wrapped up. They may be through sooner than we think. I wonder where I could find a piece of paper and string.
In that cupboard, maybe.
Here's a bird cage. Did she have a bird, Mrs. Hale?
I don't know if she did. Not been here in so long. You know, a man came around last year selling canaries cheap. I don't know if she took them. Well, maybe she did. She used to sing real pretty herself.
It seems funny to think of a bird here, but she must have had one, or why would she have a cage? I wonder what happened to it.
Suppose maybe the cat got it.
No, she didn't have a cat. She's got that feeling some people have about cats, being afraid of them. When my cat got in her room, she was real upset and asked me to take it out.
My sister Bessie's like that. Weird, isn't it?
Look at this door. It's broke. The hinges fall apart.
It's as if someone must have been robbed one day.
Yes.
I wish if they were to find any evidence they'd be about it. I might
But I'm awful glad you came with me, Mrs. Hale. It would be lonesome for me sitting here alone.
would. You know what I wish? I wish I'd come sometime when she was here.
You were awful busy, Mrs. Hale, at your house and your children.
I should have come. I stayed away because it weren't cheerful, and that's why I'm out of the come. I've never liked this place. Maybe it's because it's in a hollow and you can't see the road. It's It's a lonesome place and always was. I wish I could always see the boxers.
You mustn't reproach yourself, Mrs. Hale. Somehow we don't see how it is with other folks. Until something comes up.
Having no children makes less work, but it's a fine house. Right out to work all day, no company when you did come home. Did you know John Wright these years?
Not to know him. I've seen him in town. They say he was a good man.
Yes, good. Didn't drink and kept his word as well as most and paid his debts. He was a hard man to speak. Just to pass the time of day with him. Like a raw wind that cuts to the bone. I should think she would have wanted a bird. But what do you suppose went with it?
I don't know. Unless it got sick and died.
You weren't born around here, were you? You didn't know it?
Not till they brought her yesterday.
She was kind of like a bird herself, real sweet and pretty, and kind of timid and fluttery. How should we have changed? Tell me what, Mrs. Peters. Why don't you take the book with you? Something to take up her mind.
That's a real nice idea, Mrs. Hale. There couldn't possibly be any objection to it, could there? Let's see. Now, what would it take? I wonder if patches are in here and her things.
Here's some red. Oh, I expect this has got some things in it. What a pretty box. Looks like something somebody could give you. Maybe your scissors are in here. Mrs. Peters, there's got something wrapped up in this piece of silk.
This isn't her scissors.
Mrs. Peters, it's
the bird.
but its neck, Mrs. Peters, look at its neck. It's all other side too.
Somebody wrung its neck.
Well, ladies, have you decided whether she was going to quilt it or just knot it?
We think she was going to knot it.
Well, that's interesting, I'm sure. Has the bird flown?
We think we have.
Is there a cat?
Well, not now. They're superstitious, you know. They leave.
Well, no sign of anybody having come in from the outside. And it was their own rope. Well, let's go upstairs again and go over it piece by piece. You would have had to have been somebody who knew just how the house was laid out.
She liked the bird. She was going to bury it like in a box.
And I was a girl. I didn't. There was a boy who took a hatchet and before my eyes, and before I could get there, if they hadn't held me back, I would have. Hurt him.
I wonder how it would seem never to have had your children around. No. Right, when the light the bird. Something to say. She used to say. He killed that too.
We don't know who killed the bird.
I knew John Wright.
It was an awful thing that happened in this house that night, Mrs. Hale. Killing a man while he slept. Slipping a rope around his neck to choke the life out of him.
What?
We don't know who killed him. We don't know.
There have been years and years of nothing. And then a bird to see me. It would be awfully still after the bird was still.
I know what stillness is. When we homesteaded in Dakota, Dad lost my first baby. And after he was 2 years old, and
Judy Foster when she wore a white dress with a blue ribbon and stood up in front of the choir and sang. I wish I could mark it once in a while. That was a crime. Now that was a crime, and who's gonna punish that?
I said, take on.
I should have known she needed help. I know how things can be for women. I tell you, it's weird. We live close together, but we're far apart. We all go through the same things. Just to get behind the same. Anyway, if I were you, I wouldn't tell her if it was gone. Tell her today and take this to prove it to her. She may never know whether it was broken or not.
It's a good thing the men couldn't hear us. Wouldn't they just laugh, getting all stirred up over a little thing like a dead canary, as if that would have anything to do with wouldn't they laugh?
Maybe they would. Maybe they wouldn't.
You know, Peters, it is all perfectly clear now, except for a reason for doing it. Well, you know how juries are when it comes to women. There was some definite thing. Something to tell a story about. Some way of connecting up this strange way of doing it.
Well, I guess I keep moving around.
Odd. I think I'm going to stay here by myself for a while. You can send Frank for me afterwards. Can't you? I want to go over everything again by myself. I'm not convinced that we can't do better.
Do you want to see what Mrs. Peters is going to bring in?
Oh, yes. Well, the things the ladies have picked out don't look any too dangerous. After all, Mrs. Peters doesn't need supervising. For that matter, the sheriff's wife is married to the law. Have you ever thought of it that way, Mrs. Peters?
Well, not just that way.
Married to the law. I want you to come here just a minute, George. We ought to take a look at these windows.
Oh, windows.
We'll be out in a minute, Mr. Hill.
Well, Henry, at least we found out she wasn't going to quilt it. She was going to, what do you call it, ladies?
We call it knotted.